Us every single morning doing Get Up. We got the big man Damien Woody here, and his signature feature is called Would You Believe? Here we go, big man. Would you believe J.J. McCarthy is the quarterback with the most to prove in the jam-packed NFC North?
I would. How many games they won last year? 14?
Correct.
14 games last year, okay? You let Sam Darnold walk out the door, who had a fantastic season. Kevin O'Connell believes in this brother right here. He believes in it. You let Sam Darnold walk out the door with the year he had, they know they have something special right here. But he hasn't played a snap in the regular season, so he got to go out there and show with a very good team in Minnesota.
McCarthy's a brother?
Would that change your perspective?
I mean, might change my odds.
You actually made an interesting observation about something you saw online yesterday that convinced you this is going to go well.
So I know J.J. McCarthy is going to be great because the general manager, who normally is very quiet, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, he did a profile in The Athletic, and that means that he's been watching practice. He's like, oh, this is going to be a good season. Let me get up. You know who drafted that guy, right?
That's right.
So I'm telling you, whatever the over-under is on the Vikings right now, I would say go over because The Athletic told me so.
And let me tell you something, and we're going to do some of these prop bets a little bit later in the show. Their win total at ESPN Bet is 8.5.
That's ridiculous.
Stunningly low for a team that won 14 games last year. And while, yes, their quarterback played great, the departure of Sam Darnold doesn't feel like the departure of Josh Allen would or someone like that. That's an enormous drop from 14 to 8 wins.
It's just, listen, it's not often that I go against Vegas or try to trash Vegas, but to go from 14 to 8.5,
what do they know?
Like, I don't know what they know because they got inside information, but I'm looking at this roster, I'm like, there's no way.
They're never that wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's way wrong.
I think that you could guess because the division is tough. They have a first-year quarterback. The defense has lost the cornerback in Gilmore so that their blitzing may not be as aggressive. The turnovers that they created, the sacks, they might. So there's lots of reasons that you could assume that this team would take a step back. But the other one is they're replacing the quarterback with their brother J.J. So I'm all in on brother J.J. getting it done.
That would be dynamite. Anyway, that's a terrible. That's a JJ part.
Shout out to the old.
Come on. I watched good times. I'm a child of the 70s. Next, here we go. D-Wood, stay in the division. Would you believe Caleb Williams is going to throw for 4,000 yards in Chicago this year in the Ben Johnson offense?
Absolutely. First of all, 4,000 yards in today's NFL, it's not like a big feat here. That's number one.
In Chicago, it would be precedent-setting.
Yes,
go ahead.
Yes, he would probably get a parade. But more importantly, I just think, like, with the weapons that the Chicago Bears, and I think Ben Johnson being the operator and the play call in this offense, he's rebuilding this young man from the ground up. And it's going to show out there on the field, and he's going to show all the talent as to why he was #1 pick.
Yeah, they might have the deepest group of pass catchers in the entire NFL. I really like Luther Burden, the rookie. I think he's going to be fantastic also with first-round level talent. And, I mean, 4,000 yards is a lot for Chicago, but it's not a whole bunch for Ben Johnson. And I think in this offense, Caleb Williams will succeed. 2
tight ends, and both look like they're going to be really good. We watched the preseason performance the other night. And a lot of people thought we overreacted. Why are you making such a big deal about one good preseason performance? And my response is, if he looked awful, we would have gone nuts. How big a deal? How much confidence do you draw from how good it looked in that limited offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I'm high on Caleb Williams, so I think I have a little bit of confirmation bias. Right. So I want to draw a lot from it, so I am drawing a lot from it. I do agree. If it was bad, we would be crushing him. But it does show that he can operate within the bounds of an offense. I know that you're not getting super complicated defenses. They're not adjusting. We're not asking a whole bunch of them. But he operated this offense. It's the thing that we all said that he can't do.
Right.
Or we all said he needs to work on. We know you can do the big plays. We know you can make magic happen and put the ball at risk sometimes. But can you operate within the system, under the center? I know it's a low bar, but he showed that he could do that.
No, I absolutely agree. That's the one thing we've been talking about.
Right.
All offseason, like, can you just do the mundane stuff at quarterback? That was the one thing that he showed us in that preseason game. So why do I not think that he can't do the spectacular stuff moving forward?
So many young quarterbacks in that division. We covered McCarthy. We covered Williams. D. Wood, let's go to Green Bay. Would you believe Jordan Love will elevate his receivers and win the NFC North?
If they catch the damn ball, then yeah, absolutely. Like, Green Bay has too many talented pass catchers to be as bad as they were last year. I just think they'll rebound. And the one thing about Jordan Love, he comes out of the gate slow. Obviously, we know about the injury that he sustained early in the season, but if he can eliminate the early hiccups, because most of his interceptions have come in the first half of seasons over the past 2 seasons, if he can do that, eliminate that, I mean, Jordan Love is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, in my opinion.
Let me show you what D. Wood is talking about. Can we put up B32? Green Bay dropped 6.3% of their attempts last year by a wide margin, the most of any team in the league. And look at the company that they keep. I mean, the Browns, the Jets, the Panthers, those teams combined to win 13 games last year. Green Bay managed to win 11, and that is with a banged-up Jordan Love. I feel like there are people who keep waiting for him to just become great.
Yeah.
Mike Tannenbaum and I both picked him to be the MVP of the league last year. Obviously, that wasn't even close. Does he have that next gear to kick it into?
Absolutely. I think there are a surprising amount of franchise-changing quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And I think he's one of them. To the point that you were making, he's not in the neighborhood, or his team, as far as drops are concerned, we're not in the neighborhood of those bad teams. They were worse than those bad teams. They still were 11-6. That defense was surprisingly good. But I do think that Jordan Love, he shows it, that he has the ability. He's just like one of these guys that's just on the verge of, I think, breaking into that top tier of quarterbacks in football, and he's shown that he can be.
So those 3 teams, and then obviously the Lions, who were great last year and have the most, established quarterback, if you will, in Jared Goff. Anything could happen in that division, right? It's so competitive. There's almost no order you could put those 4 teams in that I would tell you it sounds crazy. Do you see it that way?
Absolutely. I can make a case for any of the 4 teams.
Including Chicago.
Including Chicago. There's a pathway. Chicago's a talented ball club.
Yeah.
I think the question is how much does Caleb progress under Ben Johnson in his first year in that system? But when you talk about the NFC North, the Detroit Lions are going to be good. I know we talk about brain drain and, all the coordinators going. They're going to be good. Like the Minnesota Vikings, they got some of the best infrastructure in the National Football League. And then obviously Green Bay with Jordan Love, they're going to be fantastic as well.
Yeah, and the Lions have been preparing for this. They're not surprised that this brain drain is happening.
Right.
So I think they're ready for it. The missing of Ragnow in the middle might be an issue, but they'll adjust to that. But I picked Chicago to win the division. So, I know that it could go in any potential order, but I think that roster is a sleeping giant.
Okay, very interesting to see how that plays out. Coming up, it is a perfect match in Pittsburgh. I'm going to tell you exactly why. The dynamic duo of Rodgers.
Commanders, they have a wideout, Terry McLaurin, off the PUP list, but not on the field. He's also a hold-in. He'll make a base salary of $15.5 million in the final year of this current deal. 2 sides remaining far apart on negotiations for a new contract. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn says he's just not about to play a specific game when talking about his wideouts hold-in.
I'm not going to play Where's Waldo, guys, all right, moving forward, so just so we're clear on that. So Terry's return to play format is no different than any of the other players. And so he's healthy, which is now a good step to getting closer to being back on the field. So you'll see that earlier than later. I don't have a date circled on my whiteboard in my office, this day for him, this day for him. But, yeah, the good news, we're getting closer to that for sure.
All right, from our nation's capital to the capital of Tennessee, in Nashville earlier this week, it was Titans' #1 overall pick, Cam Ward, got into a scuffle with teammate, defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons. Simmons saying Tuesday that, quote, at the end of the day, we're family and we moved on from it, close quote. What about the quarterback? Ward was asked what he learned from the incident.
Just strong as I would say. It was fun at the same time, and I think it was what we needed, though. I mean, we love competing, especially me, Jeff, and I'm excited to have that man as my teammate. And so I can't wait to see what he do. Sundays I already know what he about, but I get to see the real thing coming soon.
All right, he's strong. Meanwhile, a little injury scare for Lamar Jackson. Quarterback leaving Ravens practice early yesterday, flexing his right wrist and raising the alarm that he'd hurt his hand. Lamar threw a few more passes, then he left the field. The Ravens later said he was fine, and then yet, really, his foot was accidentally stepped on. I don't know how an injury travels from the wrist to the foot. I'm no doctor. Jackson and the Ravens open in the regular season. Playoff rematch against Josh Allen and the Bills. 2 weeks until this season kicks off. 2 days, though, until college football.